Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Knapp Daddy Racing. Welcome back to the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series, and welcome to Pocono Raceway. We are excited to be up here in the booth bringing you this race here. It's sure to be a lot of fun here at Pocono. As always, my name is Hunter Foley, and I'm up here with my broadcast partner, Jonathan Smith. Sure to be an exciting night of racing here at Pocono, not just because of Pocono and it being what it is. We've had some new iRacing updates, and that is sure to definitely cause some interesting new adjustments out there on the track, but we will get to all that here very shortly. Before we get out there to the action on the track, got to make sure we pay the bills and thank our sponsor. Huge shout out to Sunbelt Rentals for being the primary series sponsor for the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series here live on Knapp Daddy Racing. Sunbelt Rentals is a nationwide equipment services company. If you or anyone you know needs a piece of equipment to do a project, whether that be some little residential stuff around the house all the way up to large scale commercial and industrial projects, be sure you check out your local Sunbelt Rentals, and they will be sure to take care of you quickly and professionally. I've had to use Sunbelt Rentals myself several times and have always had a great experience. So be sure you check out Sunbelt Rentals if you or someone you know needs a piece of equipment. Again, huge shout out to Sunbelt Rentals for being our primary sponsor. And then our little shameless self promo, as always. Again, myself and John make up Knapp Daddy Racing. Not only are we up here in the broadcast booth with all of you lovely people out there in the comments, and we do appreciate it so much, and I know the drivers out here do as well. But we also try to be your one-stop shop for all of your iRacing needs. If you need new design, new logo, new paint scheme, new template, anything like that for your iRacing experience, be sure to check us out on our website at knapdaddyracing.com. And even if you're not into iRacing yourself, but you still want to help support the boys, you can go pick yourself up a t-shirt or a hat. Got those on the website as well. And be sure to check us out on our other social media as well. We try to be live on TikTok as often as we can. We're also on Instagram and Facebook as well. And be sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so you don't miss a second of any of the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series action or any of the other content that we have coming up. Lots of exciting stuff coming up here in the future. See, the comments are already rolling in. Frank is back. Frank can conquer any triangle. Frank Marchese back out on the track, and the Marchese Mafia is out in droves tonight. We are excited to get going here, but let me quit my yapping here. John, let's talk about Pocono. What can we expect to see out there tonight?
You're going to see a lot with this new update that has just came out that you alluded to earlier. Going to be a little bit different out here for these drivers with this new update, new tire model, new aero package. We talked to Jeremy Gardner earlier today, and a few other guys like Jacob Hutnick, I believe, was in that conversation as well, if I'm not mistaken. Talk about how hard it is when you pull up behind somebody now. It's like you can almost get them loose. Jeremy Gardner related it as a feeling of somebody actually hitting him from behind, but it was just where the arrow is so much different now that if you pull up behind somebody, it's going to get you loose. I know we watched a race here last Thursday night with a open setup league, and those were some talented drivers that had a lot of trouble. We talked to some other people that have been in some top splits that say they've had trouble with these cars here at Pocono. Almost like a snap loose effect is what I'm seeing from up here in the booth. I haven't had a chance to run them here, but yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens, how they control these cars. I put out a little message in our Discord earlier this week asking these drivers to have a little bit of patience, but I don't think that's going to stop the tempers from flaring tonight.
Definitely going to be a good night of racing. Pocono already is a difficult track, I know, for a lot of people. I'm anxious to see what we hear in the interviews after the race of how people thought that the race went and how everyone was kind of dealing with the new updates. I know that's been a lot for people to deal with over the last week of updates, but sure to be some exciting racing either way. We are doing 100 laps here tonight at Pocono. We will have 2 stage breaks as well. In the middle, I believe it's at 30 and 60. Someone can feel free to correct me on that if I'm wrong, but I believe it's at 30 and 60. We do throw a caution in this league for those stage breaks, and it is for points. So the winner gets 10 points, going all the way back to 10th place, gets 1 point. I believe everyone can do the math on that one.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing go ahead.
I'm about to say, speaking of points, it's a good time to go ahead and cut over to our point standings really quick. Well, we got a few minutes here watching these guys warm up coming into Pocono Raceway. So we can pull up the point standings there. You can see our leader is still Ryan Moyer, followed by his teammate and Jacob Hutnick. Jamie Horn got that 3rd place spot. I don't believe I see him out here yet. Hopefully he makes it tonight, keeps improving on that. Chris McCullough, 4th place. Greg McConey moving up into 5th in front of Tyler Justice this week. Kenneth McCullough Jr. moving up a few spots. Craig Bontrager in 8th. Cody Bullock in 9th. And Brandon Trush cracks your top 10 here for your top 10 in the standings. If we move over to our 11th through 12th, you can see this cutoff line that pops up right here. Guys below it are still fighting their way in, looking for a spot to get in that playoff. But Jake Euler in 11th place. Simon Grills is going to be the last one in right now with a few races left to go. Aiden Wilson, Frank Marchese, Jeremy Gardner looking for a way in. Jeremy Gardner's been really putting his stock in this past 4 weeks to get up there.
Yeah, he's been crushing it, man. He's been very, very, very fast, and went from, taking over a spot on that Rogue Energy Racing team, and starting basically at 0 points, and now has fought his way, and he's up there in playoff contention. If he keeps racing the way he has been, he's absolutely going to find himself up there in the playoffs. I know we're seeing some guys out there getting some practice in right now, probably still trying to figure out exactly how to negotiate these new cars around Pocono. See some people. I see Jeremy Gardner and his teammate right there getting some work in. Then I've also seen some cars kind of flying across the screen a little bit. I think they're still trying to get everything figured out.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of cars kind of snap loose already coming out of, especially turn 1 is where I feel like I've seen the most trouble for drivers. Trying to exit this turn, you got to kind of have to have an eggshell under your foot, easy on that gas coming out. But it's going to be tough, man. I mean, I have only ran these the next-gen cars, but with the update in practice sessions, I've been kind of scared to go out there and run against other people because I haven't had time to practice a lot. But yeah, it was just in practice alone, it's tough. With the business of our Knapp Daddy Racing, when we do designs, I take photos and I have to get out on the track and drive a few laps with the car to get some photos of the cars we make. And not going to lie, I actually spun out a car on a practice lap just trying to get some photos. Apologies to Brandon Trush and his new car, but we did get the photos.
It is looking great too. Yeah, one of the things that I've kind of heard over and over again, these drivers talking about with the new update, is throttle control is so much more important than it used to be. If you get back in that throttle too quick, especially out of turn 1 here at Pocono, like you were talking about, you can really find yourself in some pretty quick trouble. And then I've also heard a lot of other people kind of talking about how the new update's kind of deceitful in the sense that you don't see that kind of immediate fall off that you would normally see from tires, where you, like, if you're burning it up and you're gonna quickly kind of see that fall off, and you don't really see it so much anymore in terms of an immediate impact. You're actually probably gonna see your times get a little bit faster as your run goes on, but then you're gonna hit that kind of stopping point where you're coming to the end of your pit run, and then all the fall off's going to kind of crush you at once, and then it's where you're really going to find yourself in some trouble.
Yeah, this new setup does not complement my driving style in particular. I like to kind of hang back and let the race come to me as I save some tire, but from what I've been hearing, this doesn't really matter as much. You kind of have to push it a little bit more, not worry so much about the fall off. So it's going to be, I think a lot of the drivers in this league are primed for a setup like this, where the fall off doesn't matter as much. A lot of these guys are aggressive, hard pushers, want to get to the front, and I think that's going to really help them out with this. So I don't know. If I had to make a bet, kind of what we saw the other night, I feel like there's going to be 2 packs that are going to split off. There's going to be 1 pack in the front with about 3 or 4 drivers, and then another pack in the back where the draft isn't helping them catch up as much.
Definitely see that happen there. Good Lord, I think I just saw Craig Bontrager take flight. Just the Chiefs flight in a race car. That takes some special talent right there. Checking the comments over here, we do have 8 people in the stream right now. So first of all, thank you very much for being here, and thank you for watching Knapp Daddy Racing and the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series. Brian Gibbons with a good one said, Frank Marchese has actually died 3 times. The Grim Reaper is just afraid to tell him.
Oh, it's good to see Frank back tonight. I think we've missed him for the past 2 races, and he's, I believe, just outside of that cutoff line looking to get in. He's been pretty good, pretty aggressive with his runs here lately and moving up towards the front, but run into a little bit of bad luck. But I expect that to change tonight between him and his teammate, Greg McConey. Hopefully they can go out here and push to the front and get something done tonight.
Greg's been running it really well here recently as well, kind of in that same vein like you were talking about. I think having his teammate back out there in Frank Marchese is only going to help his cause tonight. But it's also really just going to be a game. The Rogue Energy Racing team has been absolutely dominant over the past couple of weeks. Jeremy Gardner been coming out here and causing an absolute storm in the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series and has been winning and winning and winning some more. Also seen a lot of really strong runs out of his other Rogue Energy Racing teammates in Craig Bontrager and
Tyler Justice.
And Tyler Justice. Yeah, sorry. So definitely expecting some good stuff out of them tonight. And then I know Cody Bullock and Jay Vaught are looking to have a good night tonight as well. Both of them kind of running into some bad luck over the last couple of weeks, but I know the 5A Motorsports team is looking to kind of get things turned around tonight and really get things back underway. And then you also can, it sounds like I'm just kind of gassing everyone up, which I guess I kind of am, but you do have a group of really strong drivers here. And as they're going to say, you can never count the McCulloughs out, especially on the longer, more super speedway style tracks. And they've both proven that they can be extremely fast in those situations.
Absolutely. And we are, looks like, wrapping up things here, getting ready to go into qualifying. Going to see who's going to be able to put some times out and see what happens here. Little cut back in between. Everything just changed up on me though as I try to flip it on you. Going to cut back to Jake Euler, who was driving in reverse around half the track. I had the video clip saved, going backwards into the pits, you know, just testing out, see how the arrow works in reverse too. But our overlay system said no, and that we're going straight to qualifying. So
pull it back up here in a little bit.
Oh, it's gone.
It's gone for good.
Yeah, she gone. Let's see who we got coming out here on the track first. Waiting for some of these drivers to come down. It's like Jake Euler's going to be making his run. Little swerving, trying to get those tires heated up a little bit.
They're in that teal and white number 7 car. We run here in the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series. Obviously, we would appreciate anybody that sticks around here in the stream with us and wants to keep hanging out over here. But Jake Euler does also do a stream of his own. I believe he streams on YouTube and Facebook, I believe. It's at Jake Euler. So be sure you go check him out as well.
Yeah, it looks like we're running into some connectivity issues.
Uh-oh.
So try to get that straightened out here. Well, we'll be right back.
Yeah.
We're back. I think we're back.
I'm hoping so. It's trying to sort itself out. I have no idea what happened there.
Isn't that just awesome?
Yeah, I haven't had an issue like this in weeks. About 1 week, I almost threw my computer out the window because of all the issues going on, and then since then, everything's been good since I threatened my computer just a little bit.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
I might have to threaten it again. Anyways, I think we're back, so let's try to get this grid really quick while we're sitting
Let's
here.
go.
First row, Jeremy Gardner, Craig Bontrager. Second row, Greg McConey, Jake Euler, Kenneth McCullough, and Brandon Trush makes up your third row. Frank Marchese and Aiden Wilson, the fourth row. Tyler Justice and Jay Vault in the fifth. And then Simon Grills, Cody Bullock behind them. And we are Green Flag Racing.
Getting things underway at Pocono. Already seeing everybody trying to figure out which lane they're going to be comfortable in and where they're going to be able to run without having any of that snap loose effect. Three wide in the middle of the track. Got Kathy Trush in the comments saying Team Trush number 23. Brandon Trush currently sitting in 14th position. He's going to be back there battling with Christopher McCullough and Simon Grills for position right now.
All right, my drop frame rate is now going down, which is really good. So sorry, I was a lot distracted there, but yeah, man, back to it. Sorry about that. 2 laps in here, Jeremy Gardner's first place right now. Greg McConey on his heels in second place, and another RER guy, and Craig Bontrager holds up third place right now. Jake Euler in fourth. Looking back a little bit, Cody Bullock's out there on that outside of Frank Marchese in that 84 car. It kind of looks like, I don't know if he's going for that, but it looks like an 84 lumber car. Was it 84 lumber?
Yep. That is exactly what it was.
It's a good looking car.
Cool. That's a cool scheme. I like that a lot, actually.
See if we can do a little bit of zoom in action here on Frank Marchese's car. That Trash Panda car. We do have Rocky out here tonight, sitting up in a corner somewhere, waiting to get a good shot whenever his time comes.
I did also get confirmation on that we are having our stage breaks tonight at lap 30 and lap 60. Have to be honest, that was a complete guess when I said that earlier. But it turns out I was right, so I'm a genius, basically.
Car's starting to get a little more strung out here.
As I say, we're starting to see a lot more of that kind of separation that we saw, last time we were at Pocono. Saw Jay Vaught really kind of moving his way toward the front there quickly. He went from 10th to 6th there. Did fall back a couple of spots there. Is back at where he started in 10th place. See Aiden Wilson up there in the number 60, started in 8th place, has moved his way up to 6th. And Ryan Moyer started in 13th and is up to 7th right now. He's got Cody Bullock right behind him, who's also moved up a couple of spots. Oh, and they're wrecking behind.
Right into Brandon Trush's car right there. Looks like Simon Grills got some damage there as well.
I believe Jay Vaught might have taken the worst of that hit. We will see what got that whole thing started.
See if we can pull up a replay for you here.
Our first caution coming out here on lap 5 of 100 here at Pocono Raceway.
Simon or Jay Vault's already around there at that point. It looked like he just kind of snapped loose there.
Well, unfortunately, a pretty good tag off the wall there for the 13 assignment Grills as well.
Yeah, he's going to slide, get in front of Christopher McCullough, come down in front of Brandon Trush, who's going to take some damage. So McCullough, Grills, Vault, Trush, all taking damage there. Let's see if we can hop in the cockpit cam here with Brandon Trush as he was coming through here. That is very unlucky. And you can see that wheel is not working with him very well right there.
Just gets tagged in there into the side, and yeah, that steering wheel is not doing well.
You can see Brandon Trush on the inside of that car fighting it right now too, trying to get it straight, to get it in there.
Brandon Trush has made his way onto pit road. Keeping in mind also here in the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series, you do get one fast repair per race. So essentially you can go down pit road, get it repaired, car back to 100% in the same amount of time that it would normally take to do a regular pit stop. You do only get one of those per race. So if you can avoid it, you typically wouldn't want to use it too early, but I mean, in a situation like that where you might be dealing with 8-10 minutes of damage, you kind of do have to go ahead and use it just so you can get back out on the track and be competitive. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself lots of laps down and pretty much just trying to fight your way back for the whole entirety of the race.
Yeah, and it looked like Brandon Trush did use it. Got everybody coming in here for a pit stop now, except for Jacob Hutnick. Craig Bontrager overrunning his pit stall just a little there. That's going to cost him some time. Moyer's coming out. Jake Euler coming out. That's Kenneth McCullough Jr. racing out of there behind Jeremy Gardner. Craig Bontrager able to make it out in front of Tyler Justice back there. I also see Frank Marchese and Cody Bullock as well.
Like Aiden Wilson just now getting it off of pit road as well.
Yeah, that new paint scheme of his in that 60 car, he's looking for something good to happen tonight too. Kind of looks like he's pulling off a little bit here. Maybe just taking a really low line to get back on the track. You know, this is one of my least favorite pit exits. I put this track and Dover and North Wilkesboro before they fixed it, and Charlotte.
Just sounds like you might not be a fan of pit exits.
Well, probably we can walk through. We got time. This is a 2.5 mile track, but Charlotte just super bumpy coming out of there. You see a lot of people spin trying to get off pit road because of all the bumps. It's like riding in a motocross course coming out. Dover, the pit speed is 35, which is just unreasonably slow. And once you think you exit the wall and you think you can gas it up and go, but then you have to go another like 20 feet before the cone hits. So a lot of people get caught speeding because they go up too quick. And this track's kind of the same way as Dover, but also the blend line is just right there into turn one. So it kind of messes a lot of people up. And then North Wilkesboro, it used to just dump you right on the track right there in turn one, but I think they fixed that since then.
Go get racing, buddy. Well, we did get all 15 cars back out on the track and ready to race. We are going to have a little bit of a shuffle here in our standings with the pit road strategy there. Jacob Hutnick going to be your new race leader in the number 77 machine. Greg McConey going to be starting in second. Jake Euler going to be third. Jeremy Gardner fourth. Kenneth McCullough Jr. fifth. Ryan Moyer sixth. Craig Bontrager seventh. Frank Marchese 8th, Cody Bullock 9th, and Jay Vaught 10th. Brandon Trush is going to start 11th, Tyler Justice 12th, Aiden Wilson 13th, Christopher McCullough 14th, and Simon Grills in 15th. So we are gridding them back up to get back going here in just 1 second.
Yeah, long pace laps, man. Gives you a lot of time to talk about stuff. A lot of time to pull up the race info for the night and see what's going on at this 2.5 mile track. Temperature is going to be 121 on the track. Um, Pretty clear skies. So, I mean, I don't expect the track to cool down too much. Wind's probably not going to be too much of a factor here, but humidity's also in a good spot. So, good night for racing. Pretty hot track temp. Going to be pretty slick out there on these new tires that these guys got, the new model, but I think these guys will be able to handle it. So we see our pace car slide on into pit lane here.
And we are getting it back going. Racing green hits is going to be lap 9 as we cross the stripe right here. Wow, English got really difficult there for a second. My apologies.
What a tongue twister.
Yeah, really tough on that one. Jacob Hutton gets out to a good jump. Got Greg McConey right behind him. Jake Euler and Jeremy Gardner going back and forth for that 3rd place position.
Oh, look at Ryan Moyer.
Ryan Moyer taking it all the way to the bottom of the track, taking it 3 wide.
He might have trouble through this tunnel turn here if he's not careful, if he's sitting too low. Oh, Jeremy Gardner's going to tap Greg McConey in front. Moyer gets hit. Craig Bontrager involved. That's Kenneth McCullough involved in that. Simon Grills. Is that Grills there? That is Simon Grills. Looked like
To me,
a big check
like,
out there.
Looked like Hutnick had to woe it way down. I think what was wrong, Jeremy Gardner was trying to make a move, and he almost was able to save it looked like, but did end up getting him turned around there and collects a couple other cars with him.
You know, and I wonder if this goes back to kind of what Jeremy Gardner was talking about, pulling up behind somebody and getting them loose. Nothing intentional, obviously, but maybe came into play there. Let's see if we can go back here and take a little look. Want to kind of focus in on Jeremy Gardner's car. You saw Ryan Moyer jump to the bottom, make that really good run there. I can try to get over top of the car somehow here. Now I'm looking here at Jeremy Gardner, that 36 car sitting in 3rd place, trying to go low behind Greg McConey. Just actually gives McConey just a little tap from the back. Ryan Moore is going to accordion right into Jeremy Gardner and get him loose. Kenneth McCullough's getting loose coming around there. Craig Bontrager trying to slow it up, gets loose, getting into him.
That's just kind of like you said, with Putnick slowing down just a little bit there, and that's just enough to kind of slow up everybody behind it just a little bit, and then you have everyone kind of trying to work their way around. Collects Ryan Moyer pretty good. Collects that 59 of Ryan Moyer. Looks like Simon Grills took the hit of there as well.
Yeah, even Cody Bullock caught a little bit of that. Looks like Cody Bullock's left front tire is not doing good. I don't know how to describe it other than that.
Not bonita.
Yeah, that thing is not hanging on very well.
Looks like we are going to extend the caution by 1 lap. I think we're trying to get everybody kind of figured out and back on the same pace here. So our second caution of this race coming in on lap 10. I believe we're probably going to be restarting on, should be lap 14, where we end up getting this thing back going again. Again, we are doing 100 laps here at Pocono, so still plenty of racing action left to go here tonight.
Looks like Greg McConey's car is going to be okay. Jacob Hutnick bringing it down pit road. He did not come in the first time around with everybody else, so your leader is going to be Greg McConey kicking this thing off with Jake Euler on his outside. I don't believe this league allows them to pick lanes coming to the start. So Greg McConey will have that inside lane.
Yeah, it's looked like the insides kind of had a good amount of the speed here tonight. I've seen some people that are ripping it more on the high side, but it's looking like when you're really trying to make a move, we saw, oh gosh, who was it? Ryan Moyer make that really good move to the inside right before we had that caution. Looked like he was able to carry a ton of speed in through the corner on that inside.
Yeah, the problem with that inside, though, is like Ryan Moyer kind of had there. If you start low in a corner, you're going to have to slow down a whole lot more to get through that corner. You'll just be very tight throughout it. I don't know if Ryan would be able to hold that spot coming through there at the angle he was coming at, but definitely want to stay down the inside for the most part. We have seen some guys rip a high side, especially in turn 3 over here. You can kind of pick about where you want to go as long as the car allows you to do so, but definitely through that tunnel, you want to keep it as low as possible. Try to make it as straight as a corner as possible, if that makes any sense at all. Basically, from a very basic physics standpoint, your tires and your car will go faster if your tires are pointed straight instead of left or right. So you want to try to make a corner as straight as you possibly can. Now, I'm not sure how these setups are going to play with them tonight either. I know there was some talk about recruiting the McConey setup shop to do some of the setups. I'm not sure if that actually came to fruition tonight, but if so, Mr. McConey out here repping it up in first place.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to kind of see how the race progresses, because we saw there on that last caution as well. We saw Jacob Hutnick kind of running it a little bit higher than what some of the other cars were going. I wonder if he maybe felt himself getting a little bit loose, or if it just got tight on him, but he definitely had to check up a little bit going into that corner. And like we kind of saw before, it kind of caused that accordion effect.
Yeah, if I had to pick a line here, especially in turn 1, you really want to start high and apex it kind of near the mid and cut down through that track. Same thing with turn 2. If you can hit turn 2 just right through that tunnel, I mean, you carry a lot of speed. And then turn 3 is just a toss-up, man. It's a tough corner to get around. This track was designed after, well, each corner was designed after a different track itself. The first turn was designed after Trenton Speedway, if anybody's familiar with that. I'm certainly not. Second corner, more home to some of our guys in the league, was modeled after Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's supposed to be a direct replica of a corner at Indianapolis. And then the third corner is a replica of the Milwaukee Mile, which is why I guess it makes sense that you can kind of run the middle there, because Milwaukee, I feel like the middle is somewhat of a better line.
Milwaukee's one of those tracks that I really don't know all that much about.
Milwaukee for me is like Auto Club for other people. I love Milwaukee. Yeah. I feel like I do pretty well there, but I do not do well at Auto Club, and people do well at Auto Club, and I cannot figure that track out to save my life.
Gotcha.
It's a lot of braking, tight corners. Almost feel like you're dirt tracking it through there and sliding around the corners somewhat on exit, but so I guess you kind of get that same feel here. Yeah, you kind of get that same feel here where you can kind of push up out of the corner and float to the top. That's how I like to think about it. Get into the gas a little bit, and your car just kind of feels like it's sliding, but it's not really. It's just floating up near to the wall. If you hit it just right, you can carry a lot of speed, and that speed coming off of 3 for sure is what's going to make or break your lap time. I mean, I'm talking like 0.3 slower on that front straight if your turn 3 is not as good.
We are about to get back going green here. I think we're just working out some of the kinks in getting everybody restarted back here. Brian Gibbons in the comments saying that Milwaukee reminds him of NASCAR 2005 back in the day. NASCAR 2005, was that the one with Elliott Sadler on the front?
What a pool. I actually don't know. I had the one with Dell Jr. on the front, which I feel like it was like 01 or something, with his backwards hat. And then I had another one.
Right, but
I feel like I had like 2012 or something.
I'm actually having to look this up.
I'm looking it up now. It's Kevin Harvick.
Elliott Sadler was 07.
There it is.
God bless it.
Yeah, that's what it's called. I don't think it was called that then, but NASCAR Thunder's one I had. 2003.
Classics, man. We are back to going green here. Greg McConey taking the green flag in the lead here, followed by Jeremy Gardner and Jake Euler, I believe. Three wide in the middle of the track. Aiden Wilson going to the high side, trying to work his way around Ryan Moyer. That high side looks like it's got a lot of steam there in the middle. Oh, almost a collision there. Three wide in the middle of the track. I believe that's Tyler Justice on the bottom right there.
These guys are trying to get to the front as hard as they can go right now. Lap 16, full send. Tyler Justice, little door touch to Jay Vault in the 10 car. I was going to say a door slam, but that was more like a door fist bump.
Fist bump.
Tyler Justice falling back quite a bit there on that straight.
It looked like he might have had to whoa up there. I don't know if he maybe got a little bit loose and was just trying to make sure that he saved it, but he's back in the draft there on the backside.
Jeremy Gardner to the inside of Greg McConey now, taking that first place to the tunnel turn here.
Jake Euler sitting there in third place. Got Frank Marchese about a half a second behind him in fourth place. And then Brandon Trush out in front of that second pack right there that's led. I believe that's Aiden Wilson that's at the very, very front of it. And Ryan Moyer works his way back up to the sixth position.
Oh. Cody Bullock flew in there, got a little loose, slides up in front of Kenneth McCullough Jr. He's going to fall back just a little bit.
Heard him come over the radio and apologize, said that he had to lock him up right there. Jeremy Gardner pulling out to a pretty convincing lead right here. Already got 0.4 of a second on Greg McConey. And not that it's any surprise as fast as Jeremy Gardner's been running here the past couple weeks, but he did have the fastest qualifying time by 0.4 of a second.
Wow.
He has gotten out to almost a second of a lead already. Greg McConey and Jake Euler now going back and forth. Jake Euler trying to see if he has anything for second place.
It looked like Jake almost had him there for a second, but then had to give it up. Just saw where Jay Vault had come off the track and got back on the track. I wonder if he got loose a little earlier or not, but he's going to fall back to 14th place. Simon Grill is currently a lap down. He is the only car a lap down, so he'll get the lead back if, or the lead lap back if a caution does come out.
And then Jay Vault's in a little bit of trouble right here. He's got to get back up there and See if he can't get caught up to the rest of the pack.
I
He's
think.
only going about 100 miles an hour right now. I think he's trying to bring it down pit road.
Oh yeah.
Wonder if something broke. Now we're starting to see things kind of spread back out again. Now you're having about a tenth of a second between a lot of these cars. You do have that kind of middle pack right there that does have some battle going on.
I'm watching the two teammates of Kenneth McCullough Jr. and Chris McCullough kind of go at it here. Cody Bullock pulling up to the heels of Kenneth McCullough Jr. Going to try to take him on the inside of this turn 3.
Oh, a little pop off the wall there for Jacob Hutnick. He's currently running in 8th place. He's got Craig Bontrager right behind him trying to get caught up.
And Ryan Moore just took the pass around Brandon Trush to move into 5th spot. Moyer's going to be up 8 spots tonight.
Ryan Moyer is a man on a mission right now. He does have a little way to go before he gets up there to 4th place of Frank Marchese. Gonna have just over a second to go.
Frank's looking good. Looking very consistent.
Very smooth race so far.
Yeah, very smooth, very consistent.
And it's the guys that are able to turn in consistent laps here at Pocono that you're really going to see start to do well. And I think you're kind of seeing that with your top 4 drivers right now. See Jeremy Gardner, Greg McConey, Jake Euler, and Frank sitting out there pretty comfortably. Ryan Moyer, though, is a man on a mission. He is trying to get up there and get into that top pack.
Like Jacob Hutnick getting around Aiden Wilson here. It's going to take 7th place over. Jacob Hutnick's up 7 spots tonight.
Oh, we have Simon Grills down on pit road, and there is smoke coming out of the back of that car.
If he's got a fast repair, now is the time. I don't think he has one.
That car looks unhappy.
These guys are doing some driving back here, dude.
3 wide between Tyler Justice and Christopher and Kenneth McCullough right there. I'm sorry, that's Kenneth McCullough back behind them, actually. It's Aiden Wilson, I believe, that they're up there racing with. They are trying to catch
Aiden Wilson really loose. Aiden's going to spin around. Locks it up.
All the way around. Locks it up.
Caution's out.
So he's able to save it from any huge damage, but that is going to send him back to the back of the pack here on lap 23.
I really think this is it right here that we were talking about earlier with Jeremy Gardner. So I don't think Tyler Justice touched him at all. But I mean, he did kind of clip the apron just a little bit there. See if we can ride in the cockpit here with Tyler Justice. Good job on Aiden Wilson to keep that thing together, though. Keep it off the wall.
Yeah, 100%. With this, when it starts spinning like that, you can very easily end up with a pretty destroyed car. But
yeah, nothing hurt but the feelings on that one.
Things I was thinking back to when we were talking about those NASCAR games just a minute ago was what is the what was the obsession back then with all of the like racing or action sports games? It was just bangers of emo music. Like, were they just trying to make emo kids out of all of the little rednecks that played that game, like myself?
Did it work?
Yeah, kind of.
A little bit. I don't know. I was looking at some stuff the other day. I kind of went on a little tangent now that I have more time in my life and can do so. But how Breaking Benjamin really got a big start through sports games like that, like NASCAR. I think it was like NASCAR Thunder was Diarrhea
NASCAR.
Jam, and that was kind of a big push for them for that whole band Breaking Benjamin. So,
Yeah, and they had the song for Halo as well.
yep. Good soundtracks though. Not gonna lie, I kind of like the new ones that are coming out now, but the FIFA soundtracks. Anybody ever played FIFA soccer? Those are always hits. Looks like we do have Craig Bontrager down on pit road right now, along with Kenneth McCullough Jr., Aiden Wilson coming out now, Simon Grills, and Jay Vault still sitting on pit road. But that's going to keep your race leader, Jeremy Gardner, followed by Greg McConey. Jake Willer having a really good run here for himself. Frank Marchese holding on to that fourth place spot.
Ryan Moyer's going to be restarting in fifth on this restart here. Brandon Trush going to be sixth, Jacob Hutnick 7, Christopher McCullough 8, Tyler Justice 9, and Cody Bullock 10. Do have 13 cars on the lead lap and out on the track at this moment. Simon Grills on pit road, 3 laps down currently, and Jay Vaught also on pit road. Going to be 5 laps down here. Yeah, speaking of games that have like kind of crazy soundtracks, for anybody out there that's played the new MLB game, that is the most ADHD music playlist I have ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I'm convinced they had like 5 different people pick the music and none of them talked to each other during the process. Because it's just like
a little bit of everything. Because
yeah.
I enjoy it. Like, it's good music, but that is a soundtrack where you will go, like we're talking about with the NASCAR, with the ATV games. I mean, it is consistent. It is divorced dad rock across the board or emo. Like, that's it. And this new MLB game, man, like I said, it's good stuff, but you will go directly from like a chill jazz all the way to legitimate hard rock.
My favorite's when it goes from Kendrick Lamar to Marvin Gaye. And then like to Bill Murray.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Maybe we can work on that for the next iRacing update. Get the guys some radios in the car, so it's like GTA. You can kind of pick what you want to listen to. Not realistic at all, and I'm sure not at all what iRacing is shooting for, but it would be funny.
I don't know if it's just me. It might be just me. But I cannot listen to music while I'm racing. I've tried it, and I get distracted or don't hit my marks. I like to listen to my tires and see if I can hear the input and what I'm doing, but about to hear this restart right here, though. Jeremy Gardner on the inside gets a good jump. Greg McConey with a push from his teammate Frank Marchese. They're going to slide on past Jake Wheeler.
They're pushing hard on that outside lane. Jake Wheeler going to be seeing if he can get any help here on that inside lane. Ryan Moyer jumps up to the high side. Oh, we have a car spinning in the back.
I believe that's Aiden Wilson, who is stopped on the track. Caution is not flown yet. He's going to keep it going.
I believe, again, that is kind of the benefit of having a 2-mile track, is you are able to get it back up to speed I don't really think he hit anything, so he should be able to get that thing back going. Well, meanwhile, back out on the track, these guys are doing some racing right now. Ryan Moyer trying to look to the inside of Frank Marchese here. Like he thought he might have had something, but not quite able to get it done there.
Looking at Jake Euler all in the back of Greg McConey.
Like he was trying to make a move there, not quite able to get it done right there. And then Frank Marchese looked like he had a little bit of help from Ryan Moyer there for a second. Then Ryan Moyer had to check all the way up, and that's going to be a big slowdown for Jacob Hutnick. The big slowdown from Jacob Hutnick and a good save. And also a really good save. That 33 of Tyler Justice. Tyler Justice had to slow way down. Was able to get it stopped.
Yeah, looks like we're starting to space out just a little bit here. Got a straight line all the way down the backstretch. I see Ryan Moyer trying to pop out for a second.
Marchese keeps looking for a way to get around Jake Euler and get back up there to his teammate. Hadn't been able to figure it out just yet. Ryan Moore right on the bumper of Frank right there.
Big bump.
Oh, big wiggle out of Cody Bullock. Oh, he smashes the inside of the pit lane.
It looks like he's going to tow really quickly to avoid a caution coming out. Looks like Frank Marchese just got in an accident there too. I don't even have Frank on the board anymore. Did he get disconnected?
Sounds like Frank Marchese's iRacing just crashed. I heard him come over the radio and it sounded like he was panicking. I don't know if his game froze up because I saw his car fly into the wall up there.
Try to go back to Cody Bullock here, see what happened. See, he's coming around this corner here. I don't think that was it. Looks like he just got a little loose coming out of that corner there.
And then I just actually heard someone come over the radio. Yeah, he took a lick on that inside. I just heard someone come over the radio and talk about what we were discussing earlier with that kind of snap loose effect with the car right behind you. Christopher McCullough was talking to Ryan Moyer. And he said it felt like he got completely punted, but he knows that Moyer wasn't anywhere close to him.
We do have our stage caution coming out here at lap 31. Jeremy Garner going to be the winner of stage 1. Greg McConey going to pick up some points. Jake Euler picking up some points. Brandon Trush moving his way up, picking up some points.
Is going to leave us with 11 cars out on the lead lap. Frank Marchese, I believe, was just able to reconnect. At least to what I can see, it looks like he might be able to get it back out there. Cody Bullock got it down on pit road after that last caution. I don't know if he's used his fast repair yet, but he's at least currently down there trying to work on it.
He did have that tire issue earlier on in the race, so that might have been when he used it last, or used his fast repair.
Because that tire was pointed sideways.
Let's go back and look at what happened to Aiden Wilson here. Hard to catch everything on a 2.5 mile track. Yeah, kind of the same thing like happened there. Kenneth McCullough Jr. up right behind him, doesn't touch him. Aiden Wilson gets snapped loose and able to hold on to it again.
Very, very chaotic end to that stage right there. That is going to bring us to the end of stage one, as just discussed, and it's going to bring everyone down on pit road. Did just hear Frank Marchese come back over the radio and confirm that it was a full computer crash.
Yikes. Like Craig Bontrager stayed out that time.
He is staying out, at least currently. Lone wolfing it.
3 wide trying to get off pit road here. Hutnick's going to get that spot, followed by Justice.
And we do have Frank the Tank Marchese back on the track as well. Currently getting caught up to the back of the pack right there. So that is going to have him restarting in 12th place, going to only be a lap down. It's pretty good for a full computer crash, realistically. Cody Bullock going to still be down on pit road, going to be in 13th position. Believe he might have had to use his fast repair earlier in the evening for a wheel issue. And I do not want to know what that repair timer is looking like.
Hey, he might be done.
In terms of our restart, once we get back going green here, we're going to have Jeremy Gardner and Craig Bontrager on the front row. Right behind them is going to be Greg McConey and Jake Euler. I think we're having a little shuffle up here. Ryan Moyer and Brandon Trush going to make up row 3. Row 4 is going to be Jacob Hutnick and Tyler Justice. And row 5, Christopher and Kenneth McCullough. Like Kenneth McCullough brought it back down pit road a second time, though. So he just hit a little stop and go really quick.
Well, while we got some time, check in with our boy Rocky over here, giving us all the great views of everything going on as he pops up out of those little camera well. Appreciate you, Rocky, for all that you do.
You can get him a little theme song. Rocky Cal. Golly, he's in a precarious position today.
Yeah, he's got 2 spots. I think he just tunnels underground to his other spot. We'll pull up his other spot here in a second.
Well, as long as he's not screwing with the lights or your internet cables, we're happy.
He might have got Frank there.
Yeah, I was going to say, you might have went and bamboozled Frank.
See Aiden Wilson pulling back up to the pack right now in the back over there. Going to be starting on the outside row. He's done a nice job twice tonight to keep it together and not let that thing hit the wall.
His night could have been over 2 different times, and he saved it both times, so really good on him. We are back restarted here. Craig Bontrager out to a really good jump on that inside lane. 83 of Greg McConey getting a big push from the 59 of Ryan Moyer. Greg going all the way up to the high side. It's going to make it 3 wide in the middle. Ryan Moyer kind of got sandwiched out. He had to fall back. He's going to fall in behind Jeremy Gardner there. Jeremy Gardner going all the way to the inside, able to make it stick on that entry. Trying to work his way around the inside of Greg McConey. It's like Ryan Moyer and Jake Euler are working together really well there, though. They're able to make a big push there.
Seen a few good pushes out of Ryan Moyer tonight, but he is trying his best to get there to the front.
Greg McConey looks to the inside of Craig Bontrager.
He should have it off this turn here with a good run. Looks like he might got a little loose there. Jeremy Gardner's going to go to the inside. 3 wide between him and Jake Euler. McConey backs out of it. Gardner still on the inside, trying to take first place away from Bontrager. Get him a 2-for-1 here.
He is all the way on that inside lane. Ryan Moyer now throws it to all the way to the inside. He's going to take it 3 wide. That's going to put Jeremy Gardner as the meat in the sandwich. See if he's able to hold it there. He's going to have to fall back here.
Euler should have a good run here if he holds it together. Oh, got to keep it on the wall. Still able to hold on to it. Jake Euler moves up to second place.
Greg McConey going to go back to 4th place. Or excuse me, 5th place right there.
Craig Bontrager using that open air, pulling away just a little bit here. Kind of holding it to about 3/10 of a lead, but Jeremy Gardner and Jake Euler right behind him fighting for second place.
Yeah, we've heard a couple people now talk about that with the new update that, again, kind of going against the strategy that you like to employ, like kind of being able to sit back and get your run going at the end. That clean air out front makes so much of a difference. We've heard so many people say how much harder it is to run down someone who's in the lead.
Could have been the strategy that Craig Bontrager was using by staying out as well. Knowing that the tire wear isn't as bad, you're going to hit your best laps later on in the run.
Either way, able to get some laps led under his belt. He does have his teammate Jeremy Gardner right back on his bumper there, though.
Ooh. Gets a little loose coming out of 3 there. That's going to send him way back. We talked about that earlier. If you do not get a good run out of turn 3, it will hurt you tremendously.
Yeah, that's going to send him pretty immediately back to 4th. Jake Euler and Ryan Moyer now going to be the 2 and 3 behind the race leader Jeremy Gardner, who's found his way back in the front after a pretty dominant stage 1. And right behind them, moving forward too, Greg McConey still sitting there dangerous in 5th place. Jacob Hutnick able to work his way up. Seemed like he was dealing with some troubles earlier in the race. He's now back up to 6th place from 14th. But he's got Chris McCullough behind him, who's up from 15th to 7th place right now. Look at Aiden Wilson slow on the track.
Well, Aiden Wilson's
He's trying to bring it down pit road.
Yeah, slides it in pit road.
Now as the run goes on, we're starting to see kind of more of that separation that we saw under that first stage, where after we get to about 10 green flag laps, you'll start seeing everyone kind of separate out just a little bit. little blink there out of Ryan Moyer.
Yeah, these guys are starting to space out just a little bit, get a little bit more separated, but don't get separated from the Knapp Daddy Racing guys. Make sure to follow us on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook to check out all of our nice transitions like that one there. All of our content we have. Got a lot of stuff coming in the next few weeks. We'll have a lot of time, but give us a like, give us a follow, subscribe, whatever you have to do, whatever you do on social media.
That was really good. It hurts my feelings how good that one was.
Been listening to a lot of AM radio lately. Kings of transitions.
Man, those guys had it figured out.
Yeah, 680 the fam. The fan, not the fam. Oh.
Oh, looks like Jacob Hutnick might be getting a little bit loose right there. Looked like Christopher McCullough was maybe going to look to get around him there. So he's kind of gone back to riding comfortably right there, right back behind him.
Yeah, looks like
New battle for second place. Jake Euler. Looking like he's going to get around Ryan Moyer right here. Take over second place and try to run down race leader Jeremy Gardner.
they're coming up quick on Aiden Wilson, who had to go through the pits. We saw him slide into the pits, and then he exited a little bit, but a little after. But he's about to get lapped here soon if he's not careful.
Yeah, these guys are coming in hot, so I would say it's going to be a difficult task to hold them off, but as long as you remain one lap down, it's still definitely going to be in the race here at Pocono. Only one other car a lap down, and that is Frank Marchese, who rejoined us after having some computer issues, but he is still back out there on the track now, running right behind the 03 of Kenneth McCullough.
Ooh. Jake Euler just a little loose coming there to turn one.
I know Jake Euler as well. We appreciate, obviously, and hope you don't change the dial. Anyone that's in here watching with us, but I do know that Jake Euler also does stream these races. So if anyone does want to see what it maybe looks like from the inside of a car, if you want to go between the old Knapp Daddy Racing stream here and Jake Euler's, I think it's just Jake Euler Racing on YouTube and Facebook, I believe.
What a run there by Craig Bontrager. Pulling right up to the bumper of Jake Euler there. Yeah, got to give Jake a little shout there. He's been very supportive of the Knapp Daddy Racing brand. Jeremy Gardner trying to make his way around Aiden Wilson now on that inside. Looks like Aiden Wilson's going to give it up to him and Ryan Moyer to get around.
Yeah, I know I've heard you say before that the paints you did for Jake are some of your favorite ones.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Looked like Ryan Moyer might have been trying to use Aiden Wilson there for a little drafting help there for a second, but like Aiden might have had to slow down just a little bit. We just saw a wobble out of Craig Bontrager there too, but able to hang on to it. It looks like he's trying to pull in on this front pack as well. Look at the push out of Jake Euler on Ryan Moyer.
Been super impressed with Jake's driving tonight. The guy is, I think he's really found his stride here with the Sunbelt League. Aiden Wilson pops the wall in front of Craig Bontrager. Bontrager's going to be able to try to squeeze on the high side to get around.
Something else to look at as well is we definitely haven't seen as much pull away in terms of the leaders from the rest of the pack on this run as we did in stage one. I'm actually kind of looking at Christopher McCullough and Jacob Hutnick here. They've been working really, really well together. They're almost caught back up to Christopher McCullough there in sixth place. And by this point in stage one in the green flag run, there would have been 5 or 6 seconds behind. It's only about 3.5 seconds on the leader right now.
Trying to figure out Frank Marchese on the track. coming through turn 1 now, and we got Aiden Wilson about to go through turn 2. So Frank's going to have to do his best to catch up and make that pass on Aiden Wilson the next 14 laps so he can be the lucky dog here.
Not sure. Haven't heard anything over the radio, so not 100% sure why Aiden needed to bring it back down. But I don't know if it looked like a quick stop, so I don't think it was for any sort of damage. But maybe trying to run some pit road strategy and get a better long run. Not 100% sure there, but
Just had a bunch of people pass Greg McConey. Greg McConey bringing it down pit road.
wow.
All right. Shake it up, baby.
I wonder, and we'll have to see when we get to the end what we find out here strategy wise. But I wonder if you're Greg McConey here in this spot, kind of like what we were talking about earlier, where you don't have that like crazy tire fall off that we've seen in previous updates. You know, you're running a comfortable 4th or 5th. At this point, you're 13 laps away from the stage break. I wonder if he's trying to go ahead and bring it down, and he's just kind of like, you know what, screw this stage. I'll take the points hit, and then not bring it down. When the stage caution comes out in 12 laps.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuel strategy is like either, but there's no way they can get 52 laps at Pocono. Woo. Ryan Moyer popped the wall there. 52 laps at Pocono, 2.5 mile track, even with 100% fuel. I don't know if he'll be able to squeeze 52 out of it, but so it would kind of make a little more sense if he was doing it that would be his last pit stop of the race, maybe. But I don't know.
I don't think you're able to make that for sure, but I don't know, maybe just to get back out in front and then hope for a quick caution on stage 2.
Because if that was my strategy, I think I would have pitted like maybe lap 57, like right before the stage break.
True, good point.
But I don't know.
I'm just spitballing.
The other possibility is that we got our stage breaks completely wrong, and it could be lap 50. I think
it is 30 and 60.
Yeah, it's like maybe I'm thinking of it wrong here, but yeah, I don't know then.
Yeah, I completely guessed at the beginning of the race, I have to be honest. I was like, 100 lap race, so it's probably 30 and 60. We'll go with that, and I'll eat it later if I'm wrong. And I heard Cody come over the radio, and he's like, stage breaks 30 and 60. I was like, hot
Diggity dog.
Yep, that one.
Yeah. Looking at some nice paint schemes. Brandon Trush in that new, I guess it's not new, but the Air Jordan scheme, that 23 car. The red variant tonight, had the purple variant last time we were out here, but also some more of my favorites, like to cycle through real quick. Craig Bontrager. It's a really good looking scheme, like the way it wraps all the way around too. That's one of the hardest parts. I know people that paint don't get a lot of credit for that, but wrapping that blood, I guess, in the front from panel to panel is not an easy task. Good looking stuff.
If you or someone you know would like to get a new paint scheme on your iRacing car, be sure to check out KnappDaddyRacing.com.
Good plug, good plug, good plug. Cycle through some of the works here. Jake Euler in that 7 Bravo car. He does have a black and red variant. I think that's where the rims are coming from with the red. I don't think he changed the wheels for the night. But also Cody Bullock. Hate to see him down there in the pits, but that Hooters racing car kind of bent up. Also one of my favorites. Very classic feel, but with a modern touch to it.
To be honest, is one of my favorite ones that you've ever done. I really, really like that one.
I really like this Jeremy Gardner one too. Just a sucker for a good paint scheme, you know? You
Me
look
too.
fast.
And
You look good. You feel fast. You know, that's how you do it.
it look good, race good. And that is, I mean, obviously we are kind of shouting out some of the Knapp Daddy Racing customers there. Jake Euler, Cody Bullock, all rocking Knapp Daddy Racing paint schemes. Those Rogue Energy guys have awesome paint schemes, and we had absolutely nothing to do with those.
Remind me who it was again.
Shasta Jewel.
Shots to Jewel. Thank you. I was blanking. Want to make sure we give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are really, really cool.
I always love a good team scheme too, and everybody's kind of doing the same thing. Hey, Wilson getting a little loose there. Frank Marchese is kind of catching up on his heels. Let's see if we can pull up some deltas for you just to see how close these guys are from each other. It looks like a gap of about 5 seconds. I don't know if I buy that one. They look a lot closer than 5 seconds, but it is a big track.
It is a big track. Yeah, that new like I think you were talking about it earlier, like the '84 lumber style Trash Panda Motorsports for Frank. I think that was sweet. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, I feel like I've seen that business before. Like I've seen that number with a red circle before. I'm not sure if that is a local thing or like a nationwide brand, but I only really remember seeing it in the western part of Virginia. Not West Virginia, the western part of Virginia. Banjos sound a little bit different out there.
Craig Bontrager all the way on the inside of the track.
He's going to bring it down pit road too. So
He's gonna bring it down pit.
He didn't pit the second stage, or the first stage. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he did not. Took a little bit of a weird entry. He didn't go straight down pit road. He took it down the little side road that goes through the infield. Sure if that was on purpose or if I'm just an idiot and that's how you have to enter, but
You can enter further up. But yeah, it was 100% on purpose. He knows what he's doing. I know there is some tracks you have to take that. I'm not sure if he thought that was the same way here.
I think I might have accidentally heard his spotter yelling at him. So that maybe implies that it wasn't necessarily on purpose, because I mean, especially in a situation like this where you're going to be green flag stopping, I have to imagine that costs you a good amount of time.
That's bad news for Aiden Wilson and Frank the Tank there, because they were kind of fighting for a spot back on the lead lap with 5 to go. One of those guys is going to get the lucky dog. And Frank was catching up quick, but now I believe it's going to go to Craig Bontrager.
You see a lot more separation now at this point. Jeremy Gardner out in front. He's got Ryan Moyer about 0.4 of a second behind him. Got to go back almost 6 seconds to get back to Jake Euler. Well, I don't know if something happened, but he is running like a little bit slower right there. He tries to dive back down to the inside of Tyler Justice, but he's not going to be able to get it. So Tyler Justice and Christopher McCullough going to be able to get around Jake Euler right there.
Yeah, Chris McCullough's can be your biggest mover of the night, up 12 spots. Ryan Moyer up 11 spots. Ryan's bringing it down pit road. He slides. Going to be sideways down pit road.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
That hurts.
I mean, that's just going to cost him so much time. Especially, you have to wonder if maybe he was trying to do some strategy right there. I know you were talking about it a little bit earlier. If you were going to do some pit road strategy with the stage break, this is about the lap you kind of want to be running it. I mean, that's going to cost him 10, 15 seconds right there. That is going to keep Jeremy Gardner out there in the lead. He's going to have 8.9 seconds on Christopher McCullough in second place, and just over 9 seconds on the third place runner, Tyler Justice.
Jeremy Gardner's bringing up pit road now too. So Tyler Justice is going to be your new race leader as Chris McCullough brings it in. Jake Euler also keeping it out. Bontrager's back on the lead lap, so Marchese and Wilson got a chance here. Marchese's really got to pull in that gap. I don't know if he's got enough time to do it.
If you're Frank, you can see him in your sights. You know you can see him right there, but you got to be able to get up there and get to him.
Right along with Frank Marchese here. You can see not Jake Euler directly in front, but in front of him is the car he's trying to go for, but Frank's actually going to break down pit road.
You're on lap 59 right here. Got one more to go before we have our second stage break. Unless he's planning on pitting, looking like it's going to very comfortably go to the 33 machine of Tyler Justice for those bonus points.
Yeah, at this point, I'm not pitting. I'm staying out. Which I guess when he passes the stripe, lap 61, that will be it for the stage.
On green, almost wall to wall. Lap 60. Aiden Wilson right there on the bumper of Tyler Justice. Looking like he's trying to get his lap back the old-fashioned way, and will.
Oh, if you're Frank, you got to be happy about that. He owes Aiden Wilson a nice steak dinner after this.
Jacob Hutnick coming in very, very hot right now. Jake Euler and Tyler Justice very slow on the track.
I don't know what is going on. Why Tyler Justice is so slow? Maybe Tyler Justice possibly out of fuel. I don't know what that was about there, but it looks like Jacob Hutnick's going to take that stage.
It looked like, I don't know what was going on. It looked like Tyler Justice and Jake Euler were very slow on the track.
I wonder if these guys are out of fuel.
There is the stage.
I think he's out of fuel.
He was very, very slow on the track. Just got the confirmation he was running out of gas. So that explains how Jacob Hutnick was able to fly up there with such speed and get it done. Congratulations to Jacob Hutnick with a huge, surprising comeback to be able to get in there and get those stage points. It's like the strategy almost came back to bite. Tyler Justice there tried to run it all the way to the bitter end right there. So he was running out of gas right there on that last stage.
Yeah, you can hear Jacob Hutnick's car just cut out of gas there.
I believe that will also make Frank Marchese our lucky dog, which will put him on back on the lead lap.
Going back.
We are going to see
I'm sorry,
some shuffling here.
I'm gonna cut back to Tyler Justice here on this last lap. He's keeping it in 5th gear, trying to get around this corner, not throttling up too much. And there it goes, out of gas completely.
Did hear Tyler Justice and Jacob Hutnick having some words back and forth. Jacob Hutnick not appreciating Tyler Justice being slow on the track. I don't think he realized that Tyler had run out of gas, and Tyler not appreciating the butt tap. Butt slaps.
Yeah, I'm trying to digest this one here. I'm kind of confused. Not really sure what's going on. I know what's going on, but I'm just trying to figure out why things went on. Circle back to where Tyler Justice did run out of fuel was right around this corner here. It's actually a little bit further back, about right here is where Tyler Justice is going to run out of fuel, so he's slowing up a whole lot. Well, that's going to make Ryan Moyer your new race leader coming out here. Christopher McCullough is going to be in 2nd place. Tyler Justice refueled and ready to go out here in 3rd place. And Brandon Trush in 4th.
Either way, if you're Tyler Justice, you have to be really encouraged by how you were able to make that run there on that last stage. I mean, you're able to run it really fast, stay up with everyone. I know we had some pit road strategy going on there, but did a really, really good job. I know we've talked about it before. I love it when someone tries to do kind of a ballsy pit road strategy and almost ended up not working, but ended up figuring it out at the end. We are getting them gridded back up to get back underway here. believe you were going to have 12 cars on the lead lap for this restart here. Cody Bullock, Simon Grills, and Jay Vaught are going to be your 13th, 14th, and 15th place drivers, and they are both out of the race at this point. It's like Jake Euler brought it back down pit road, so he's trying to get caught back up to the tail end of the pack there. But we are gridded up and ready to get him back underway here.
Time for my favorite part, where this pace car slides into pit road. My man is whipping it down there.
I don't know if that's part of the new update, but that guy just absolutely burns it up.
Yeah, he's pushing the I rating about 7K right now. The guy can drive.
We are someone else that can drive. Ryan Moyer in that 59 machine off to a really, really great jump right there. Christopher McCullough sticking to the high side in second place right there. Tyler Justice gets into third. So they had a little bit of a check up there going into the entry.
A nice move by Aiden Wilson, trying to stay behind and flash the outside at the last second. Didn't pan out for him, but I respect it. Craig Bontrager hanging on the inside of Aiden Wilson here, trying to get around for that 7th place spot.
I know Jake Euler brought it back down pit road the second time. Wondered if he's going to be able to get caught back up to the front. He was running really, really well. That last stage is going to find himself back in 10th right now. Back there with Kenneth McCullough Jr. and Frank Marchese, who's now back on the lead lap.
It seems like it's harder for these guys to drive through traffic since the update. Like, if you are in the back, it seems like it's harder to push through and get to the front like you used to be able to.
Yeah, I think clean air, they put a huge emphasis on having clean air. Like, kind of like what we were talking about earlier, where if you're up at the front, you're able to stay up there a lot easier than you used to be, because you also don't have that tire fall off as well. So, I mean, if you're out there just really letting it go, unless someone behind you is just really, really burned it down, you're going to be able to hold on to that position pretty comfortably. Ryan Moyer right now has about a half a second lead on Christopher McCullough. Jeremy Gardner in third right now. He was about a half a second behind Chris McCullough there, but he has gained and is almost right back to the bumper. Be 33 laps to go this time by.
Everybody's going to pop the wall there coming out. Jake Euler's going to try to get around Jacob Hutnick. Maybe even get Aiden Wilson on this turn as well.
Yeah, that was a big move there by Jake Euler. Oh, him and Hutnick almost get together. Hutnick's in the wall.
No caution, staying green. These guys are going to keep on pushing.
Hutnick does a good job of saving it. He popped the wall pretty good there, but did a really good job of saving it.
Looks like Gardner's going to make his move to the inside here. Christopher McCullough got to get a good run to make this pass done. Christopher McCullough with a really good run there on the high side, going to hold on to his position. See if he protects the low side coming in here to turn one.
And especially with this new update here, I really don't hate that he's, trying to race for that position and make sure he stays exactly where he is. I mean, Jeremy Gardner's proven that if he gets up front, he can stay up front. And even at this point with 31 to go, if you're one of these drivers out here like Kenneth McCullough or Ryan Moyer or Christopher McCullough or Ryan Moyer, you have to think that if Gardner gets by, it's going to be really tough to rein him back in. So I like the strategy if you're just trying to run it as hard as you can and see if you can hang on to it or how long you can hang on to it.
Right now, Chris McCullough's doing a fantastic job on that high side coming out of turn 3. Able to get a really good run coming out of there. Checking back here with Craig Bontrager, trying to get around Brandon Trush. Oh, Craig Bontrager gets a little loose, pops the wall. Aiden Wilson gets into him.
They are both all the way around.
Euler gets spun.
Euler made a great dodge to get around the initial caution itself, but then couldn't get it back up on the track. I mean, that was a really good save by Jake Euler, just not able to finish it off at the end there. We will have to see if any of these guys still have their fast repair.
Hey, look at this replay here. Looking at Craig Bontrager in that 35 car on the inside of Brandon Trush. As they go down the front straightaway. Coming into turn 1 is where Craig Bontrager got a little loose at. And it looks like on exit he's already sliding a little bit and trying to save it already. Pops the wall. Aiden Wilson gets into him. Kenneth McCullough Jr. Jake Euler goes low. Euler pops the wall hard on the inside.
Yeah, that's going to be a really hard hit there for Craig Bontrager.
I do want to go back here and check in the cockpit with Kenneth McCullough Jr. as I saw him squeak on through. Woo! Just barely missed him.
See if there's any pit road strategies that come into play here on this one, or if everyone's going to go ahead and bring it down. Looks like pretty much everyone is bringing it down. Got to think everyone's thinking that they can make it all the way to the end at this point. It's like Aiden Wilson still on pit road getting damage repaired. I assume he's probably used that fast repair already. Same for Craig Bontrager. Also still on pit road getting damage repaired.
It looks like Jeremy Gardner lost a lot of spots in that pit stop there.
We'll see how it shakes out here when we get back out here on the track. It looks to me like he's came out in the same spot.
I thought Jeremy Gardner was like in second place for that.
Oh, he was in third behind Christopher McCullough.
Well, I have him down in 6th place right now.
Oh, wow. I got Ryan Moyer, at least on the track right now. I got Ryan Moyer, Tyler Justice, Greg McConey, Chris McCullough. I think my side's just being annoying about updating.
Yeah, it looks like Gardner lost 5 spots on that stop there. Marchese lost 3 spots. Euler losing 5, probably to repair some damage. I know Marchese overran that pit stall. We saw that one happen. Wonder if the same thing happened to Jeremy Gardner, or if he might have had some damage he wanted to get repaired as well.
Actually looking like Marchese and Jake Euler and Jacob Hutnick all coming down a second time. As is the 03 of Kenneth McCullough, Jeremy Gardner. Looks like everybody but Ryan Moyer, Tyler Justice, Greg McConey, and Brandon Trush brought it down a second time. Looks like for everybody it was just a gas and go. Wonder if they're just trying to absolutely make sure that they can make it to the end.
Yeah, so they're going to come into the pits, take tires, take gas, get another lap in, and that's going to make the cycle a little bit less than 28 laps. We saw Justice able to extend it from lap 32 to lap 60 for a 28-lap run. Same thing with Brandon Trush. Hutnick actually stayed out extra lap, saving some fuel there at the end. We saw him ride around in 5th gear, but about 28 laps is about as much as you can get. And I think these guys want to make sure they have one extra lap at least in there in case there is a green-white checkered.
Now we're at a situation where everybody currently from 4th back can 100% make it. Everybody from 4th up can 85% make it.
Yeah, I mean, Moyer going to have to pit again. Well, I don't know. Never mind. I see that he should be good. I was looking at the wrong thing.
Pace car is off. We are back underway. Ryan Moyer gets out to a really good jump right there. He's got Tyler Justice and Greg McConey on his tail. Brandon Trush repaired and out back there racing in the 4th spot, but he's got Christopher McCullough, Jacob Hutnick, and Jeremy Gardner all coming in very hot. Jacob Hutnick into the back of Christopher McCullough right there. Little love tap. Tyler Justice in that 2nd spot, trying to let it rip on the low side. He's got Greg McConey on the high side. Greg McConey with a great run into that entry. Gonna lock up 2nd place. Jacob Hutnick with a really good entry right there. Looks like he was able to get a really good run on Christopher McCullough, and he's going to be able to make that pass right there. And Ryan Moyer has just shot away with this thing currently. 1.2 seconds of a lead on Greg McConey, who's in 2nd place. 1.5 on Tyler Justice in 3rd.
Yeah, Greg McConey has cut that down to 0.75 here in the last lap. Really pushing it here.
And I think he's got to be as aware as anybody of the difficulty that we've seen, not just on the new update, but here at Pocono. How difficult it can be to actually run somebody down. So he's got to be thinking the earlier he gets up there, the better chance he has of being able to make a run at the end.
Yeah, he can make some separation between him and Tyler Justice back there. But, I mean, he's got it down to half a second now. He's catching up quick. 25 to go here. Coming through the tunnel. See if he can carry some of that momentum. Going to pull up our lap sectors.
So Frank Marchese was able to go all the way down to the inside of the track and was able to get around the 77 machine of Jacob Hutnick to put Frank Marchese back up in the top 5 here tonight.
See, we should have an updated Sector 1 here right after this turn.
Something else to keep an eye on right now as well. Jeremy Gardner back in 9th right now.
Yeah, I saw him slide back just a little bit earlier. Really concerned about Moyer this between turn 1 and 2. I mean, he's almost 2/10 slower than Maconi and Justice, but making up for it coming off a 3.
I know we've heard some people kind of talk about it before on some other broadcasts we've done where they say you can get back to about the half a second, 6/10, but it's really pushing through that wall where it starts to get difficult. And it looks like Greg Maconi has been able to kind of push through that right now. But he's all the way almost back up to the bumper of Ryan Moyer right now.
I mean, he is a 10th off right now. Car length and a half behind Ryan Moyer coming through here. We just showed the sectors. He's been faster through 1 and 2 this entire past 4 laps.
Really, really fast right now, Greg Maconi. Huge run. Tyler Justice still sitting there in 3rd. Brandon Trush in 4th. And Frank Marchese has worked his way back up into 5th and looks like he's coming with a head of steam right now.
Which is crazy because he was disconnected and a lap down. And now Frank Marchese. The man can do anything.
You currently have 10 cars on the lead lap right now. Last car on the lead lap currently being Jake Euler, who's currently right there behind the 36 machine of Jeremy Gardner. And Jeremy Gardner actually has his teammate Craig Bontrager in front of him. Craig is I believe the only car a lap down that is on the track. Aiden Wilson, Cody Bullock, Simon Grills, and Jay Vaught all out of the race at this point. Forge Val in the comments. Trash Panda Autosports is on the move. Let's go, Frankie. Trash Panda Motorsports has definitely made a big push here in the last couple laps. Frank Marchese able to get around Brandon Trush and Tyler Justice there. Tyler Justice actually down on pit road now. Ryan Moyer, the number 59, leading this thing by about, looks like about 2/10 of a second right now. About 2 car lengths on Greg Maconi. Got Frank Marchese back there about 4.2 seconds back, but in the top 3 now. And then Brandon Trush and Jacob Hutnick rounding out your top 10 or top 5.
Yeah, and for anyone that doesn't know, when I have the sectors up here on this screen, Sector 1 is pretty much the first half of the racetrack, and the Sector 2 is the second half. And it's consistently showing Maconi is faster in the first half, but not as faster in the second half. So between the exit of turn 2 really and turn 3 is what's really getting them down. But looking to the inside here, and this might help them stay on that left rear quarter panel of Ryan Moyer, not getting so aero tight coming through the corners.
Yeah, not just for yourself as well with not getting so aero tight, but we've seen even the drivers talk about it here tonight. Like, it can feel like almost like you get punted if somebody really gets up there on your bumper, even though you don't touch them at all.
And I guess that's two different strategies that Maconi can use. Do I want to loosen up the guy in front of me, or do I want to keep my car pretty free as it is? But we got a caution out. Kenneth McCullough Jr. He just got loose.
Jr. all the way around. his teammate, Christopher McCullough, comes over the radio, said, didn't need that. And just for some insight here, I am able to hear the driver radios. Jacob Hutnick and Chris McCullough both said that they were about a lap short on fuel.
Let's see.
Brandon Trush said he was 2 to the good. Another update here, Tyler Justice. Not sure if he had computer issues or if he had some car issues, but he has also called it a night. Let's see who brings it down here.
Wow. Wow.
Lots of shuffling. Wow.
Greg McConey bringing it down. I am shook.
Greg McConey, Frank Marchese, Jacob Hutnick, Brandon Trush, and Kenneth McCullough Jr. all bringing it down pit road. Ryan Moyer, Christopher McCullough, Jeremy Gardner, Jake Euler, all deciding to keep it out. Ryan Moyer being one of the ones that at this point that we are pretty sure can make it, but definitely not 100%, especially with some of the other drivers that were on his pitch strategy saying that they were about a lap short. But what a move for Jeremy Gardner. Jeremy Gardner looked like he was going to be kind of stuck back there in that 7th, 8th spot. And now he's right back up in 3rd place.
Yeah, Greg McConey and Frank Marchese both bringing it down. I just saw McConey take tires as well. Not just fuel, but also taking some tires to see if he can make a run here with 18 laps to go. It is a longer track, so I mean 18 laps is a longer 18 than it would be somewhere else, but I don't, it's just, it seems like it's hard for people to get through traffic with the way the cars are. You don't want to get bogged down.
I love a good pit road strategy as much as the next guy, so we'll have to see how it plays out. But it looks like in this shuffle, looks like Ryan Moyer and Chris McCullough are going to be taking your first row. Jeremy Gardner and Jake Euler are going to be taking your row 2.
And Brandon Trush and Jacob Hutnick, I believe, are going to be row 3 with Kenneth McCullough bringing it in.
Okay, Kenneth McCullough bringing it in again.
Flag man there holding up the yellow flag for everybody to see, I guess. Appreciate that, flag man.
Yeah, so now you're at the point where we know Ryan Moyer could be close. Chris McCullough should be, I believe he was one of the ones that brought it down the second time on our last caution. So I would think he's good to go. Jeremy Gardner, I know, did as well. I believe Jake Euler brought it down the second time, so he should be fine. I'm not 100% on anybody's fuel strategy except for Ryan Moyer. Maybe you can pull up the last pits.
Yep, it's Ryan Moyer has only got 1 lap more on these other guys. Between McCullough, Gardner, Euler, and Trush. And then also with this caution being out right now, this is also going to help extend that fuel window just a little bit more. If there is another caution, I think all these guys will be good.
The Ryan Moyer probably going to be good. but he is in a pack where the other 3 cars around him did do that second stop to top off. So if he was about a lap short, then you would think the others would be good to go. But like you said, the caution should help his case here.
Ooh.
Great jump out of Ryan Moyer.
Greg McConey's not wasting any time. Get to the inside there. Brandon Trush.
And it's 3 wide into entry. It's 3 wide again. Craig Bontrager now on the top. Frank Marchese up the top of the track being pushed by Craig Bontrager. Marchese able to get all the way to the bumper. The number 77 machine of Jacob Hutnick right there.
Frank is driving that thing, man.
Jeremy Gardner already back up in second, able to get around Christopher McCullough pretty quickly. Craig Bontrager looking to make some money moves right here. He's trying to get around Frank Marchese right there. Looks like Hutnick might have bounced off the wall there just a little bit. Kenneth McCullough Jr. kind of off the pace here, running in 10th right now. Greg McConey going to be on those fresh tires. Sitting about 1.7 seconds back already, back in 9th.
Yeah, he's got to get around these cars if he's going to, obviously, to get to the front. But I think the traffic's slowing him up a whole lot compared to what the pace he could be running at.
Craig Bontrager sticking to the back of Jacob Hutnick, trying to work it their way around Frank Marchese. Marchese's loose. Able to save it. But that is going to put him way off the pace as Kenneth McCullough Jr. goes around. Aiden W34 in the comments. Let's go 77 and 59. Bring it home for MPM.
Ryan Moore doing his best to try to break that draft off from Jeremy Gardner behind him. Gardner's kind of closing the gap there, and Moore takes it away between every lap.
Forge Val saying dirty air is a death sentence here. We have seen that time and time again tonight. Ryan Moyer trying to hold off a hard charging Jeremy Gardner. Christopher McCullough and Jake Euler sitting back there hoping that they can get something done here in this mix. 12 to go this next time by. Greg McConey back in 7th, trying to get his way back up to the bumper of the 35 of Craig Bontrager, who's now come back from a lap down and is running in 6th place. Eighth in the comments saying the dirty air was killing me all night long. I think the combination of Pocono and the new update, dirty air, is a problem here. It's just not the same as what it was before.
That ain't it, Chief.
Jacob Hutnick looks like he got into the wall just a little bit there.
Check in with our
Craig Pep.
Rocky cam here. Thank you, Rocky.
Craig Bontrager looks like he's coming with a full head of steam. He's been able to put some separation on Greg McConey. He's coming up to the bumper of Jacob Hutnick, trying to get his way back into the top 5.
I mean, I think that just kind of goes to prove the point about the dirty air thing. And Jake Euler gets to the inside here of Chris McCullough, but Greg McConey was gaining on Ryan Moyer and looking to make a pass for that caution. Then went in, took fresh tires, and he is now 2.7 seconds back.
Chris McCullough just got into the wall there. Him and Jake Euler are racing. Craig Bontrager also in the same breath able to make that pass on Jacob Hutnick. He's now in the top 5. Jake Euler now in the top 3.
Coming down here to 9 to go. Now Ryan Moyer, still your race leader. Jeremy Gardner right behind him, fresh on his heels. Jake Euler in that 3rd spot. Greg McConey able to get around to Brandon Trush. He's still about 2.75 behind. Jacob Hutnick had some issues earlier. Took stage 2 win. He's going to be sitting in 6th place, and Craig Bontrager in 5th, right behind Christopher McCullough. Frank Marchese, unfortunately, 8 seconds back, 9 seconds back.
Yeah, I saw him get loose on that one entry there just a few laps ago, and now finds himself kind of off the pace here. Either way, still an impressive night. Coming back from the computer disconnect and get a lap down, and be able to get back up into the top 10.
Gardner's going, oh! Moyer hard into the wall there.
They're going to race it out of the exit right here. What an exit by Jeremy Gardner, and that's going to give him the lead back right there.
Craig Bontrager trying to hold off Jacob Hutnick. Greg McConey's trying to get around Jacob Hutnick now.
Craig Bontrager looking like he's trying to race the 04 of Christopher McCullough there, trying to get into the top 4 there. Less than a second of difference right now between Jeremy Gardner and the top 3 cars. Chris McCullough all the way around into the inside wall.
Caution's coming out.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, I know some of these drivers are thankful to see it. I know Jeremy Gardner's probably not.
I mean, Jeremy Gardner's been able to prove time and again tonight how when he gets out in front and gets clean air, he's pretty much unstoppable. Now he's got to do it all over again. And he has got some people behind him who were hard charging.
I'll try to go back here to Ryan Moyer on this turn.
And that is probably going to take Christopher McCullough out of the race. Hit the wall just hard enough to cause some damage. And then another update here. Both Jeremy Gardner and Ryan Moyer have said that they have damage.
That is crazy.
Looks like Moyer was starting to get a little bit loose. And then I think Gardner was trying to get around him right there because he thought he was going to end up spinning low. And then he ended up having to get into the wall to avoid getting more involved in it.
Yeah, you can see Ryan Moyer's steering wheel is just pointed a little bit to that 1230-ish position there.
Ryan Moyer going to bring it down pit road. Jake Euler going to stay out. Jeremy Gardner going to stay out. Wow, I believe that I'm sorry. I believe that Jake Euler is going to take second there. Ryan Moyer bringing it down pit road. As did Chris McCullough and Kenneth McCullough. Chris McCullough probably dealing with some damage as well at this point. Might have had his fast repair left in his back pocket. I haven't seen him, I don't believe, involved in too much tonight. He's back on the racetrack already.
Yeah, we've heard it all day today that if you pull it to the bumper, somebody like that, they can get really loose. Kind of feel like that's what happened there. Saw it firsthand.
So I believe we're going to throw the green here on lap 97, giving us 3 to go, or 4 to go rather. Jeremy Gardner going to be restarting this thing in first. Jake Euler going to be in second place on the high side. Second row going to be Craig Bontrager and Jacob Hutnick. And then you're going to have Ryan Moyer and Greg McConey.
I think Bontrager's in a really good spot. Probably one of the better spots to make a run here. He's going to be starting here on this inside row right behind the race leader and Jeremy Gardner, who does control the restart here. Restart will be on Jeremy Gardner, not the flag itself. So when Jeremy Gardner decides to go in that restart zone, that's when they will all take off. And for Jake Euler, it's really hard to time up somebody on your left-hand side. But
yeah, if you're Craig Bontrager here, you got to be quick on the trigger. You got to be immediately trying to get to that bumper. As soon as you see Gardner take off, you've got to try to get to that bumper and quick. Because Gardner is a great restarter, and you will see him pull away quickly.
And you kind of have to think about the mental game of this too, because what is Jeremy Gardner going to do? He controls the restart. He can go whenever he wants inside that zone. Do you hold out and wait till the very end? Do you just kind of go in the middle, or do you go as soon as you hit that restart zone? If I had to guess, I'm saying he's going to go as soon as that restart zone hits to kind of throw everybody off, see if anybody's on their toes or not.
Don't count out that high side. It just depends on if Jake Euler and Jake Hutnick up there on that top side are able to actually hang in there, work together, and get a good run on that high side. We've seen people have success on the high side tonight, but in the short term, it's really looked like that low side is where the speed's at. We will find out here. 3 to go. Green flag.
He waited it out to the end of the restart zone, looks like.
Huge restart by Jeremy Gardner. Craig Bontrager racing hard there on the inside.
Bontrager not giving Euler an inch up there. Ryan Moyer around.
Ryan Moyer around. Frank Marchese around.
Bontrager throwing the moves on Jake Euler to keep him behind him. We're still green, everybody.
Chris McCullough able to get through. Your top three right now: Jeremy Gardner, Craig Bontrager, Jake Euler. Is anybody going to be able to have anything to get up there and get to Jeremy Gardner? See, everyone's shuffling lanes a little bit. Jacob Hutnick has a head full of steam. Trying to get up there to the bumper of Jake Euler, see if he can get himself a top three. Craig Bontrager sticking consistent, but still about a half a second behind Jeremy Gardner. White flag is in the air, 1 to go.
Everybody's kind of spaced out here. I'm looking for Jacob Hutton to make a run. He's been fast all night. I think he has the car to do it. Taps the wall just a little bit here. Jake Euler's going to have his hands full. Jeremy Gardner all the way down to the bottom of the apron.
Like Craig Bontrager followed him down there. Craig goes just below the yellow line, trying to see if he can get any speed going.
I think Jeremy Gardner's going to be able to hold on 4 races in a row. Takes it home at Pocono. Craig Bontrager going to finish second. Jake Euler with a podium finish.
Man 21 in the comments saying, let's go Gardner. 4 in a row. Don't call it a streak. Jeremy Gardner 4 in a row. Employing some strategy tonight. We've seen Jeremy Gardner be absolutely dominant and go wall to wall. Had to deal with some adversity tonight. Able to power through and get his 4th win in a row here at Pocono Raceway in the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series. Great run out of Craig Bontrager to get back up there and get into 2nd place. Great job by Jake Euler tonight as well. Very consistent, able to get himself a top 3. Wow, was that a fun one. And burn it down, Jeremy. You have earned it, sir. 4 in a row is incredible. I don't think I've ever seen a 4 in a row, to be honest with you. Very, very impressive. And as Jacob Lanke saying in the comments, a Rogue Energy Racing 1 and 2 punch. The tricky triangle, not too tricky for Jeremy Gardner, at least until the end there. It blowed up.
Yeah, man, good run by Jeremy Gardner. That's 4 straight We'll get to be talking to him for 4 weeks in a row here in a second here as we get some of these guys up to the booth. But, I mean, great run by everybody. Really, it's a tough track. You got to be on your game for 3 corners for 100 laps, 2.5 miles each lap. We've seen it, especially in turn 3. We talked about it. You let up just a little bit or you miss your mark a little bit and you're losing a ton of track position and a ton of time. But Jeremy Gardner on top of it tonight had some trouble earlier on, able to bring it through to capture that win for 4 weeks straight. Craig Pontrager takes home second place after a really good run. Great restart there behind his teammate Jake Euler getting that podium finish. As I pull up the race results here, your 4th place finisher is going to be Jacob Hutnick. 5th place, Brandon Trush. 6th place is going to be Kenneth McCullough Jr. 7th is going to Greg McConey. 8th place, Ryan Moyer. 9th is Christopher McCullough. 10th is Frank Marchese. 11th, Tyler Justice. Aiden Wilson in 12th. Cody Bullock in 13th. Simon Grills in 14th. And Jay Vault to round out your field there in 15th place. Well, as some of these guys start to fill up in the waiting room here, why don't you tell us about our sponsors we have?
I think I can handle that. Again, this is the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series, broadcast exclusively only here on Knapp Daddy Racing. Sunbelt Rentals, again, huge shout out to them for being our series sponsor. None of this happens without them. Sunbelt Rentals is a nationwide equipment rental company where you can get equipment for any need, whether that be a residential job around your house or a big commercial or industrial job out on the job site. Be sure to check out your local Sunbelt Rentals if you or anyone you know needs a piece of equipment to get the job done. I've had to deal with Sunbelt Rentals many times in my line of work, and they've always been very professional and very helpful, and we appreciate them very much, not only for what they do for the guys that are out here on the job sites, but for what they do for us on the track as well. Again, huge shout out to Sunbelt Rentals for making this thing happen. And then again, shameless self-plug for myself and John. We make up Knapp Daddy Racing. We started this thing last year as a design and logo shop for iRacing, and we've expanded to try to be a little bit of everything for anyone in the world of iRacing. If you were someone you know needs a new logo, a new paint, a new template, be sure to check us out on our website over at knappdaddyracing.com. Be sure to follow us on social media on Instagram and Facebook as well. And check us out here live every single Monday night for the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series. And you can also catch us live on TikTok as often as we can. Hopefully much more often here in the near future. And stay on the lookout, not just for broadcasting action, but for a lot of other cool stuff that we have coming up in the works. Make sure to throw us a follow to not miss any of that. Thank you again to everyone who joined us. I know we had a really good turnout in the stream tonight, so thank you from the bottom of our hearts and from the league's hearts, because the league has a heart, I guess. Good job, Hunter. We appreciate it for joining us. I know the drivers appreciate it as well. Be sure you like the stream and subscribe if you haven't already, so you don't miss anything that Knapp Daddy has coming up on YouTube or a second of the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series action. Appreciate everyone for being loud in the comments. It was really fun to see all this happen. But enough about the shameless self-promotion. Let's get over to some interviews with our drivers, starting with our 3rd place finisher, Jake Euler.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
Wonderful, sir. How are you doing tonight?
Sweaty, tired.
Man, that was a hell of a run. How did you feel getting back up there into 3rd after kind of having to fight your way through the chaos that's Pocono? How was it out there? Kind of trying to navigate this with all the new updates and everything.
You know, I actually like it a little bit more than it used to be. I felt more in control on older tires. I was really hoping we could continue green flag laps. I felt like I had a little bit something for 1 and 2 there before that last caution. But yeah, I mean, overall, I'm happy. P3.
E3, did you have a good turnout in the stream tonight?
Yeah, it looks like we got 5 or 6 people in there right now watching. Still hanging in there. So my mom and dad, they were watching, so that was cool.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, tell us about your race strategy. What did you have kind of planned coming in here? I know you had a good qualifying run, starting in fourth. What was kind of your plan of working your way through this race and navigating what I'm sure you had to assume was going to be some chaos?
Yeah, I went into it. I didn't really think about fuel too much. I didn't know what that was going to look like. I just knew track position was key. Um, Getting new tires is just not worth it late in the run. So just staying out there, staying up at front as much as I could. That was really my strategy. And then going through the race, started looking at fuel, and I'm like, then I'm trying to save, and I thought I had enough there at the end of the second stage. Came up a little bit short. Not sure where I finished during that stage, but I ran out of fuel, half lap short. Um, so I think it was within the top 10, maybe P8. But
Yep.
yeah, so I mean, fuel was definitely a big one there. That kind of prepared me for the last stage. I saved a lot. I'm trying to stick with Jeremy. He's the fast guy. I mean, they're all fast. Don't get me wrong, but sticking with him and his strategy and kind of what he was playing, I got to give it to him. He had a hell of a race. So that was it.
Well, either way, man, great run out of you. It was really cool to see you kind of working your way back up through the field, navigating everything that was going on here tonight. I know we're headed to Richmond next week. How do you feel about Richmond?
It's my home track. Been there a few times with my dad. He went there a lot with his father-in-law, and it's kind of a special place to me. I like Richmond. It's an acquired taste for some, but I feel really comfortable there.
Well, that's awesome, man. Well, great run again tonight. Congratulations on your third place podium finish. Before we get you out of here, you got any shout outs, any promotions you want to give?
Yeah. First of all, thank God. Appreciate all he's done in my life and all the people he's put in my life. My wife, my beautiful daughter, my mom and dad who are watching the stream right now, any other friends and family. Hello, got a P3. Sponsor on the car was Bravo Technology Partners Inc. So shout out to them. And you guys for putting on a hell of a broadcast.
We appreciate you very much, sir. Looking forward to seeing you out at Richmond next week, and good luck out there. Hopefully, we see you back up here again.
All right, thanks so much, guys.
Yes, sir. Take care.
All right, bye.
That's going to be Jake Euler, your third place finisher. My mic was on like mute half the time, and I had no idea during that whole little run there. Still trying to figure out some stuff from earlier, but coming up next, we do have your second place finisher and Craig Bontrager. Craig, you got a copy of this in the booth?
Sure do.
Well, P2 tonight, man, had a great car. Kind of called it at the very end there. I'm just going to pat myself on the back. Sitting up there in P3, I said that you had a really good position to make a great run, and you jumped out and got a good jump, got in front of Euler, took home second place. What was your thoughts on that last restart?
Yeah. Well, the whole race wasn't really playing out my way, and then all the cards kind of just fell right there. So, kind of excited to see what we had, and then yeah, I got a good jump on Euler, drove down to that first corner. I think I ran him up high just a little bit to take some speed away, and then was able to stay ahead of him. But didn't have enough for Gardner. I was trying, man, but dirty air. He even had a little bit of steering damage. I thought this was the chance, right? And but he held strong, and really good 1-2 finish for RER.
Absolutely. I want to talk about the new update with the car. This is kind of our first experience, well, second experience, but first week dealing with this. What are your thoughts on the update and how it handles? Is it something you like or dislike?
Okay, it's my first kind of long go with this tire, so I'm still forming my opinion, right? But I think I like it better than the old one. I also am just excited for the opportunity. My first Cup Cup car race was with you guys, race 1 here. So not a lot of experience with these cars, so it kind of levels the playing field for us to be all on a new tire. So we get to kind of figure it out together. And obviously I got a great teammate leaning plenty of insights for me. So far I'm optimistic about the new tire. I like it.
And we're going to Richmond next week. A lot different from this 2.5-mile track. Going to be more on the brake, kind of coasting through the corners a little bit. But how do you feel about Richmond, especially with this new tire model as well, going from big track to small track?
Yeah, I think if it's not too tight, it's going to make Richmond a ton of fun. Richmond can put on some great racing. It can put on some dull racing, and it's really just going to kind of depend on how she gets in and if she rotates through the center. If it does, I feel like this tire is going to put on a show.
Absolutely. Well, before we let you go, any sponsors or shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, for sure. Rogue Energy for sure. Check out discount code RER. Get yourself a discount. Really great products. Sunbelt Rentals sponsoring the series. I know Cody Bullock is working a ton of hours still making this thing happen. Appreciate that. Appreciate you guys putting on the broadcast. Very entertaining for everybody that's watching. So appreciate all you guys.
Yes, sir. Well, congratulations tonight on P2. Good run. Definitely going to help you out in the point standings, and I hope to see you up here next week.
Yeah, see you guys next week.
Yes, sir. Have a good one. That's going to be Craig Bontrager, your second place finisher here tonight at Pocono. And coming up next for the fifth time in 4 weeks, but finishing 4 races in first place in a row here, Jeremy Gardner. Jeremy, you got a copy in the booth with us?
Yes, sir.
Welcome back, man. That's 4 straight. I think I last checked, you're like 15th in the points. I'm almost certain this is going to bump you up at least above the cut line. Tell us about that run tonight. I know you took some damage. How did you overcome that?
It was that was a little frustrating. Kind of a part of it, I guess, this new update. You pull up on somebody's bumper and you kind of just get them loose. I mean, that kind of wasn't my intention, but I mean, I had to run on him because I was lifting super early trying to get a good exit. But yeah, that killed my steering. It said I had wheel damage, and I wasn't gonna pit to fix it. I was gonna stay out and see what happened. But honestly, it kind of worked out for me. I was getting a little loose off of 3 just the way I was driving. I was kind of having to lean on the right rear tonight just to get it to rotate, and I think that right front damage actually kind of made the car neutral, so I was able to rotate perfectly fine out of 3 right there somehow, but it worked out.
I know we talked to you in the comments today in the Discord server about how if you pull up to somebody's bumper, it can really loosen up the car in front of you. Is that kind of what happened there with Ryan Moyer, or was he more just in a situation where he was loose?
I don't know. It's hard to say. We were going to run hard there. I mean, me and him always run hard with each other, so I kind of think that's kind of what happened. I mean, literally, you got to get within a foot or 2 foot, and the car in front of you is like it just hit ice. So I hate it for him because we were going to have a hell of a run right there. He was killing me through 2. I was beating him through 1, but I mean, I hated ending that way. But I mean, that was going to be a hell of a finish right there. That was probably going to be the best battle to the end right there.
Yeah, it was shaping up to be a really good battle there, and just unfortunately the car got loose. I don't know if that was part of what you were talking about. It certainly looked like it. I mean, it looked like his car just snapped out of nowhere. I mean, wasn't driving with him, but I couldn't see his steering wheel, but it looked like it just kind of snapped coming out of that corner, which is wild. But going to Richmond next week, what is your thoughts on Richmond?
Pretty good there. I mean, I don't know. I'm hit or miss. I'll run good there. I won't run good there. But I mean, it's been a pretty good track for me in the past. So we'll see how it works out, and see if everybody's got some patience. Just see how we can make it work.
Yeah. Last question I want to ask you because it slipped my mind earlier, and I just thought of it again. Right before Moyer did get loose there, hit the wall, it looked like you were having some trouble catching them. Did you think that the dirty air was really playing a big deal with cars catching each other in the pack like that?
Yeah, I feel like with the new update, I feel like they're a little bit worse with dirty air now. I kept smacking the wall, just barely, just grazing it out of 2. I mean, that's like I said. I feel like I had him in 1 and 2. He would get me through 2 just because the dirty air. Just it's a tight corner, but yeah, I think that definitely played a part of it. So I was kind of kind of nervous there towards the end because I had the strategy played out. I think I went from sixth or fifth or whatever to the back, and I was just saving fuel. Went two to the good, and I was hoping that caution didn't fly because I thought I had it, and then it went the way it did.
Yeah, that's four
So.
straight for you, and definitely got the strategy working out here over the past few weeks. So before I let you go, anybody you'd like to shout out or any sponsors?
Yeah, my guys over at GLR. Appreciate y'all. Y'all put on a hell of a broadcast tonight. I can't wait to go back and watch it. Of course, my Rogue teammates. I appreciate them guys. And Rogue Energy. Use checkout code RER for a 10% discount off your next order. Great energy drink. Appreciate the league. Appreciate Cody. I mean, I know he works long hours and he still puts his stuff on, so appreciate him.
Well, congratulations on first place tonight. That's 4 straight for you, 5 straight podiums for you as well. But looking forward to talking to you next week.
Yes, sir. We'll see y'all next week.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
You too.
And that is going to be Jeremy Gardner, your first place finisher here tonight. That's 4 straight wins for him as he keeps climbing the leaderboard to get himself above that cut line. I think he's going to do it pretty soon here, if not this week. With 4 wins, I mean, you kind of got to feel like you got to be above that cut. So, anyways, going to Richmond next week. Richmond's a fun track. I really like Richmond. I'm not good at Richmond, but I love Richmond. Watching races there and everything. Takes a lot of skill, a lot of input, a lot shorter of a track. Going to be some close quarters. Going to be a lot of loose driving, I feel like. So I'm excited for that one.
This one's definitely going to be really fun. It's going to be interesting to see how guys kind of navigate the new strategies. I like what Craig Bontrager said there, where he's like, I'm kind of new to this anyway, so it kind of levels the playing field. I like that outlook on it, but definitely going to be super interesting to see how everybody adjusts to it. And, Jeremy Gardner is on his 4th win in a row here, but tonight was one of the nights where we kind of saw him have to deal with some adversity. We've kind of seen him have those wall-to-wall, just dominant finishes. And tonight he had to kind of deal with some adversity, still able to power through and get himself back up to number 1. So, I mean, absolutely cementing himself as a big-time competitor in this league, but able to see some really, really strong runs out of everybody else as well. I mean, his teammate Craig Bontrager, Jake Willer with a great run to kind of fight through some stuff as well to get that other podium finish. Jacob Hutnick looked really, really fast tonight. The Trash Panda Motorsports guys are going to end up breaking through. I mean, they've dealt with some bad luck here recently, but they both had really, really fast cars here tonight, and the McCullers just kind of dancing back and forth between, they're going to get themselves, one of them is going to get a win here in the next couple weeks. I'm calling it.
Yeah, I thought tonight was going to be the night for Greg McConey. Personally, if I had to pick a driver earlier on, the guy was fast, but unfortunately just kind of got caught up there in traffic, and it just looks like it's super tough. Like once you get in the traffic to get around people and keep up near the front, but I think he'll bounce back. He's a good driver. We'll see more of him next week. Brandon Trush also with a fantastic run tonight. Man, it's just, I don't know, like just comes out of nowhere. Up near the front every single time. Jacob Hutnick fast, was really fast behind Jake Willer there at the very end. Ryan Ward with that unfortunate snap loose there. Frank Marchese had that internet connection issues and still had a good run there tonight. I think he got caught up in a little bit of an incident, but some other drivers looking to turn things around next week. Having some bad luck over the past few weeks is going to drop them in the points a little bit as our playoffs are coming up. But either way, we are heading to Richmond next week. It's going to be live right here on Knapp Daddy Racing on YouTube. Start time at 8:10 next week. So looking forward to that next Monday night. Join us here. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, follow, all those cool things so you can keep up with us and what we're doing. And check out our Discord page and our website so you can join in, keep up with the action. We're going to be doing some events coming up soon, some races and stuff like that. So try to get some of these Sunbelt, some of your favorite Sunbelt drivers over there to race in those races with us. It'll be a lot of fun. That will also be on our channels too. But yeah, great race tonight. Looking forward to more stuff coming next week. See if somebody's got anything for Jeremy Gardner going into Richmond.
Be fun to see.
But anyways, that is going to do it for us tonight. For the last time, I have been John.
I have been Hunter.
And we will see you guys next week.
Take care, everybody.